This week, Ria and I are taking aim at the new Jorgensen Archery Range in Richfield as we stretch our comfort zone in a day of target practice.
Then the AYL crew is tagging along with the Tri-State ATV Club as they show off an incredible ride from Base Camp Enterprise to Pilot Peak.
Finally, Reese and Marianne Stein are taking us to one of the most mystical apartment complexes in the world as we explore Cappadocia, Turkey. It's all headed your way right now. At Your Leisure is next.
You know, I think these look like they need an operator's permit and 3 months of training. It looks like they're bows with a transmission in them. This is amazing. Hi, everybody. Welcome to At Your Leisure. I'm Chad Booth.
And I'm Ria Rossi Booth.
And we would like to introduce you to Jack Head, who is the official Jorgensens archery guru. I think that's the way to call it.
Okay.
You're so humble, Jack. So tell us a little bit about these beautiful bows from Jorgensen.
Well, they're compound bows. You know, archery goes back thousands of years when they shot long bows and recurves and so on. Recurves are still popular, but not as popular as the compound bows.
All right. Well, we've got quite a selection of them. It's interesting to point out where we are.
Yeah.
This is the Richfield City Archery Range, and it is it's all been set up by Jorgensens to encourage the sport. And it's not just these two targets here down at the easy part. They have targets all the way up this draw set up. How many of you got here total, Jack?
16 counting the two practice targets.
Oh, these are just practice targets.
Yeah.
Ria and I will never make it off the practice targets.
Dude, speak for yourself. I'm getting up there. Sweet 16, I'm gonna get it all the way up to the tippy top. Is it way up there?
It goes up a ways, yes.
Oh my gosh, that's
Have to
exciting.
go further up the draw there.
But as I understand it, it complements actual hunting. So some of them you're shooting down, some of them you're shooting up, some of them you're just in a lot of different positions.
Yeah, and at different distances, you can kind of pick your own distance.
So let's find out a little bit about these bows here.
This is one of our better selling bows. It's a Diamond Infinite Edge, and it covers a lot of range as far as draw length and shooting weight. It's a good youth bow. Pins, normally there's 1, 3, or 5 pins, or even sometimes 7 pins, but in this bow we sighted in 20, 30, and 40 yards.
Huh. I'm gonna have to learn how that works.
So that also looks like something would use if you're just starting out. Not just a kid, but if you do like a beginner like me.
Yeah.
Or just that would be a great bow.
That would be, because we can set it up to fit your draw length and the weight that you can pull without any, and it's not a test of strength.
Right.
So you want to pull a weight that's comfortable for you and be able to prepare the arrow down there at a decent speed.
Makes sense.
What's the Cadillac here?
We handle also Hoyt bows as well as Matthews bows and Prime. The riser is made of carbon and the limbs are laminated and has a built-in arrow rest, built-in stabilizer, and that's just the bow by itself. If you add your other accessories, you can add anywhere from $5,000 to $1,000 depending on what accessories you want on there.
Well, that's as much as a good dirt bike.
So this is this Hoyt, they're from Salt Lake. They're from Salt Lake, right? Aren't they from Utah, this company?
Yes.
That's nice.
We have at least 2 archery companies that are stationed in Salt Lake City. One is the arrows we sell mostly are Easton arrows, and the Hoyt factory, they're real close together up there.
They're just easton of them down in the industrial center, right?
Yeah, Easton's been in business for 100 years now.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Hoyt since 1931.
Yep.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, I think we should probably get set up to learn how to use some of this stuff, and you should take off and go to our where to this week.
Release on the trigger.
Woo! I hit Jack!
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are here at the archery range in Richfield, one that's set up by Jorgensens. And Ria has so far today, on her third shot, she hit our car, she killed a rock, and she finally got a raccoon. So she's doing real well.
I couldn't be happier.
But you know, there is something very interesting here. If you're a beginner like Ria, there's always some coaching. You need a lot of coaching. But even people like Todd, who have been shooting archery for years, can use some good pointers, as we found out today.
Okay, we're going to go through the proper shooting technique. Todd's going to be our example here. The first thing we're going to do is get our proper stance. And we want to use an open stance. Going to bring that right foot around a little front up here a ways. So it's an open stance. He's using a bow sling, so as he shoots with a relaxed hand, not a tight grip, that the bow might jump forward, and this is going to catch it from going on the ground there. Takes the arrow out of the quiver, puts it on the nocking point, which is in the middle of that D loop, and goes ahead and cocks the arrow rest and puts his release on the D loop, and he comes to a proper full draw, which we take this hand right behind the point of the jaw there, lined up straight with the arrow, reaches for the trigger and squeezes. And if you do everything the same every time, the arrow's going to hit in the same spot every time.
Yeah,
Squeeze.
I'm on it, and death to Rory! Whoa, I got him! All right, this is way more fun than I thought. And it helps to have a complete setup. So Jack, I'm using Jack's bow here. It's got this little sight right in the line, and I just lined it up, and man, I took Rory Raccoon right out at the heart. Anyway, right now, we are going to practice some more. It's time for you to go to this week's Along the Way. Wow, you guys are good. Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are here at the city range for Richfield that was put together by Jorgensens. And they've donated all the equipment, the rack over here to hang your bows and your equipment on, and the bales, and they figured out how to come up with all these different hunting scenarios in this kind of bow and arrow Hogan's Alley here. It's right by the water towers down here in Richfield. So if you want to come in, you go into town, you go to 3rd North, you come up till it hits gravel road, and you'll see it. There'll be a tiny little sign that'll tell you that there's a range here. Anyway, if you need direction, just go over on Cove Street to Jorgensen's, ask them. Somebody in the sporting goods department will be happy to help you, maybe even sell you a cool bow. They probably scored 2 of them today. Anyway, right now it's time for us to take a look at the action happening next week on At Your Leisure.
Next week, Scott Huntsman and Kurt Miles are throwing down the gauntlet in the Ultimate Challenge. We head to Moab as Team Scott pits their Jeeps against Team Kurt and their side-by-sides.
Then, one of our AWAL families will take you to some great hiking trails that are located close to home as they're showing off 5 of the best waterfall hikes on the Wasatch Front.
Finally, Terry and Susan Wood are stoking the boiler for a one-of-a-kind journey that will take you on a railway back in time. Now let's take a look at our contest winner.
This week's contest winner was submitted to us on email by Cody Brereton, and it looks like he's the lucky winner of a Clearly Tough windshield for his rig.
Clearly Tough offers the strongest windshields on the market. Visit clearlytough.com for more info.
Congratulations, Cody, and be sure to call us at 801-947-8888 to claim your Clearly Tough windshield.
Well, next week's show looks great.
It does, and so does this grouping, Ria. Take a look at that.
I know.
And I got this animal right where I wanted to.
Oh boy, was that your arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. So.
Well, you know what? I used to love raccoons, but one time in college I was, hunting super cold. I was in Iowa, and our friends were like bow and arrow on this dead cow. I mean, he was frozen, and that little bugger came crawling out of that cow, and I said, I'm done with the cute little raccoons, because they're not so cute anymore. They're gross.
So you went from raccoon loved a muskrat love.
Yeah, that's right. We did.
Yeah, all right.
Well, we got to thank you guys so much for coming out with us today. What a great
the,
group.
The sporting goods department is such a great bunch of people. Braden, Todd, and Jack. There are other people there too, but they didn't show up today, so they don't get the credit.
That's right. You know what? It's a great time. And like Jorgensens, it's just a giant playground. You guys are so blessed to work there. I love that place.
So many things to do. Remember, there's adventure around every bend.
Just got to get out there and create your own adventure
At your leisure. All right, I guess we should start pulling these out.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Let's see.
Oh.